Good evening to you and everybody up here. Um, I hold a degree in accounting and finance, and I do have ISACA and CompTIA security certifications. And I actually had an opportunity to work in different fields, contracts, finance, accounting, and I ended up in the IT auditing field. And currently, I am in the cyber field as we speak. So that's a little brief history about me, and I have a family, awesome. 4 kids.
Oh, oh wow, awesome. And you mentioned you have your degree in accounting. So then how did you learn about cybersecurity? How did you switch career fields?
Well, when I was in accounting, the early 2000s, when we had that Enron corruption and all that going on, and they introduced Sachs, Sarbanes-Oxley, I had an opportunity to be working with different auditors coming in and those annual financial audits. And when the Sachs process came in, we were involved. They were coming to us for information back and forth, and having friends in, I joined, I would say, Toastmasters. I was a member of Toastmasters International. I don't know if you've heard of it. Toastmasters International, and most of the VPs that were in were all in the IT fields. So they more introduced me gradually that if I wanted to get into IT. So that is how gradually I ended up within the same company that I was. I moved from the accounting field into the IT auditing field with no degree in IT whatsoever. So it was like a smooth transition, like an entry level that I got in, and I took it from there.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
And I believe you've taken a few classes at SLAM. Which courses did you take at SLAM?
I sat in networking, and I sat in security plus. But it's the security plus that I was more focused on, and I took the exams for. Those are the 2 classes or courses I took at SLAM.
Mm-hmm. And so then in terms of like in your field, how has SLAM helped you? Have they, did you use them for any career services or resume help at all?
Yes, I definitely. I needed SLAM because without SLAM, I wouldn't have gotten to this level. But I would say this, I had Dr. IT, or everybody calls him Dr. IT, but Samuel was a great source. Actually, both classes that I sat in, it was all through Samuel. I never had the opportunity to sit in any of the classes, and Samuel was the go-to person. The phone calls was crazy. He would tell you about me. I kept calling him left and right. And with the other executive that I had, they kept pushing. I kept getting advice. You always have to go to the SME, the subject matter expert people, to get some guide and shape up from there. So SLAM was tremendously, they helped me a lot, Samuel. And I know Francisca is really not in there in the IT field, but she was a great resource as well.
Awesome. And so I know you briefly mentioned this, how you transitioned from accounting into the IT field. But in terms of your first job, could you maybe mention any skills that you felt needed starting in, like maybe basic coding skills, or any other skills that you think was helpful in your first position?
Well, in my first position, again, getting into the IT auditing field, luckily for me, it was within the same company, and I knew the people that were within the department. And because I also had the opportunity to sit in Toastmasters with them, sometimes during lunchtime, we do talk here and there, and I do ask questions, because to learn, you have to be asking more questions. So when I got in, I had the opportunity to have a smooth transition, even though it was an entry level that I got in. At least I had my foot in, right? I had my foot in. So
Yes.
it made the transition pretty easy for me. It's all, every company is different. You know, you may go somewhere that is it's going to be really tough, but I was blessed to have people who embraced me and were able to teach me from the scratch. So that's how I was able to help myself also being ready to learn and move on.
Yes. Awesome. And so, when you, you further developed your skills and you moved on to higher positions, in terms of what you're doing right now, I guess what certificates or skills do you think, for those who want to reach where you are now, your career direction, career path, what certifications do you believe they need to be where you are right now?
Where I am currently, you will need at least, if you don't have anything, I know that someone will say CompTIA A plus. I know it's the basic entry level and the networking is, but if you have Security Plus, it covers both the technical side and the compliance side that I'm in. So if you have it, at least you should have the Security Plus to be able to get in and get in quickly.
Is Network Plus at all important for your job, or is that a separate career path?
This, you're talking about the Security Plus, you mean? Or the compliance?
No. Oh, sorry. No, I was talking about Network Plus. I believe there's Network Plus and Security Plus.
Yeah, but I did the Security Plus, and the Security Plus feel that when Sam taught us during our class, there was a section actually on governance, IT governance, regulations, compliance. That's that. So that area what was where I felt I would fit in, because I did not know much about the technical components, scripting, coding, and all that. And I did not. I feel I should have started from maybe scratch, even though I was going online, reading more and watching YouTubes and getting better understanding. I was lost, but I will tell you that I felt comfortable when it came under compliance. I said, "Whoop, this is it. I'm just gonna go with this." So that's what.
Yes. Great. And so, in terms of like your field in general, what do you think is the biggest cyber threat for your industry? What's the biggest challenge for your industry right now?
I would say social engineering. Why do I say that? The social engineering is, sometimes you get emails and they sound enticing. They'll tell you that, hey, you've won this, or the company, somebody will push something through the company email for you to just click on it, or even your normal email. You get a lot of messages coming in, and once you click on it, something is hooked on your system, either your phone or your laptop or whatever device you have, and you are locked for good. Your system is hacked. And it's one thing that Samuel, I remember during the class, he kept stressing on. And that, to me, is the biggest threat that we are facing.
Yeah, with all the phishing emails that goes to your work or personal email and
Exactly.
accidentally clicking on it. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And so then, what do you wish you had known before entering the cybersecurity field, before making that transition? What do you wish you knew about the industry before entering it?
For someone who is from the accounting field to accounting finance field to technical IT, I wish I had known more about the coding, the in-depth well of the port system, the configs, troubleshooting, the whole support task force, whatever they do very well. That would make me more comfortable, and probably I could have ended up being more technical than compliance. So it's something that I've been talking to my third child about.
Oh, you accidentally went on mute.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. If you could just repeat that one more time.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. I said, if I did, I wish I had known more about the config, the support, troubleshooting, task force stuff, and really getting to understand the core foundation of the help desk. Because when it comes to those stuff, I am so zero on it, and I feel so bad. I know Samuel, he loves all the students to death. He loves all of us to pieces, but it's his desire that we all get to know it. But I said, gradually I'm going to learn, but that is the area that I wish, I had known very well. I think if I had known very well, I would have easily transitioned into more technical than, getting into compliance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think I would have.
Awesome. And we did have one question pop up. They ask, what kind of job or duties do you work on a daily basis at work?
What I do right now is more governance, compliance, risk management, and I work more on CONMON activities. The CONMON being a continuous monitoring, work closely with the SOC team, and updating reports for our customers out there because of they have a report that we submit monthly to the federal government. We call it POAM, Plan of Action and Milestone. So I'm constantly in it, and I'm working with the SOC. If it's not the SOC, I work with the other departments, tier 1, tier 2 people, making sure we are up to date, and I have all the necessary explanations to present to my customers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And we had another question. Do you suggest one should start with A+ when entering the cybersecurity field?
I would say yes, but I say yes because you get a better understanding of all the components from the scratch, and you build yourself up, right? Mm-hmm. But yes. If you do the A+, you can choose to write exams, or you can choose not to. It's your choice. You have to get the better understanding, the foundation of it. That will help you move to the networking, and the networking plus, then eventually the security plus, and the rest you take it from there. But you need, again, to talk to the subject matter experts, SME people. And I know SLAM is there to always guide people, because I, for one, I watched a little bit on YouTube about A+ and the networking, and it was so much on my head. I said, this is really a big thing to consume. And I will not say my age per se, but I will not use age as an excuse, but I could have done it, but I just wanted to really go to an area where I have the interest in. So I will advise anyone, if you want it, just do the A+. If you, SLAM is offering it, take it with them, learn, then gradually you get into the bigger ones.
Awesome. And What advice or tips would you give entry-level cybersecurity analysts about entering the field, like those who want to enter cybersecurity? What tips would you give them?
I'll give kudos to them for a start, because it's a bold move. It's a big field. It has a whole lot of area that it covers. When it talks about cyber, it's big. And they should find what they feel their interest is. Are they very hands-on? Are you what is the word? Is it hands-on? Are you very good on hands-on,
Yeah.
or are you more into going through policies and procedures? Although it's a big field, so they really have to think things through. It's not the fact that everybody is doing it, I'm going to do it. It's a big field. It's interesting, and you can go from one step to the other, but they really have to consider that, not the fact that somebody is in it, that's why I want to be in it. The world is changing anyway. Everybody must get into this to understand how things are moving, but they really have to be prepared for it. It's a good field. I'll be honest with you, because within the department that I'm in, the compliance risk management, I'm still learning from the engineers, and it's not one stop. You get to connect with other departments as well. So I'll tell them to just do the best they can and just follow their heart and listen to advice and do it.
Yes, no, I think that's great advice. And kind of speaking on what you're talking about, there's different areas. You mentioned it briefly, there's the department that does SOC, that's the Security Operations Center.
Yes.
And there's others that, so there's a lot of different directions you can go in cybersecurity. So I think that's really great advice to kind of narrow it down, like what really interests you. Yeah.
Right.
We do have another. Oh, sorry. We do have another question. What are the first steps you do when you are notified that your company network has been hacked?
Repeat the question again. What are the first steps?
Yeah, so it sounds like what do you do first once you know that your company network has been hacked? So you find out, and then what do you do right after is their question.
What normally, I think I'm on my department, we are on that email chain. What they do is they notify the top leadership among the departments, either SOC or tier 1, tier 2 department, and they come together and they work towards mitigating it. So, but then they will send an alert to their customers to let them know. It's an executive decision. I'm not within that executive decision, but then they let us know what is going on, and they take the necessary steps into mitigating those risks that we've encountered, the vulnerability or whatever had happened. Yes.
And we had another question. How has it been as a woman, immigrant, etc., in tech?
Being a woman immigrant in tech, I don't think it's any different. There are so many women in there. I don't think I think the women in that field is not as much as men, right? And with, how do I put it? I would say being in the field, it's like being in any other department or any other, let's say accounting or maybe contracts or wherever. There's nothing unique about it. There's nothing unique about it. It's a job that you're doing, just that you're getting to know more about technical and the cyberspace issue. So I don't see anything special about it, but I think it's a field that we are trying to get more women in that field because more, I'll say 90% are men. So, because anytime we think of IT, we think more like men, 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 but now women are being exposed to it. So I happen to be in it and I'm blessed to be in it. So I encourage other women, if you are on and you want to join, please, I'm waiting for you to come on board.
Yeah. And you went into the cybersecurity field in the early 2000s, right? You changed around 2003 is what you mentioned earlier, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
Have you seen a increase in women in the cybersecurity field since then?
Yes, actually, my department and the company that I left before going to this company, we were about 8 of us in there. And going into this current company that I'm in, the other states, and countries that we have our offices in, counting, I think we are about 30, 35 plus women. So I think we are growing, gradually growing. And the world is changing. Women are going to take the power. So the men should watch out for us. We come in crazy.
Yep. And yeah, no, it's always good to hear more women joining the tech fields.
Yeah,
We
it's giving
did
us the
have another
power. Okay.
someone was asking, how did you, what's the toughest experience you had since your transition from accounting to the cyber world?
The toughest transition is you've been asked to do something that you said you knew how to do, but you did not. It was the toughest, even though they open up when you go in, they train you, but then they have the feeling that you know what everything that you said you did. And you sit back and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Would I be able to do it? And it was a challenge. It's a challenge. It was a challenge for me when I first got in, but eventually I was able to do it. The most important thing is if you are able to read and write. For my side, compliance, risk, knowing how to be able to read and write. And I know in the technical field too, they have steps and processes to get stuff done. You just don't get up and do it. So if you know your steps, you should be fine. Because when I got in and I wasn't sure what I was asked to do, I had to ask questions. I had to get my pen and paper, book, and start writing the processes down. And I particularly learn more by doing. I learned more by doing, so that made it the transition smooth for me. The first couple of months is going to be tough, but you don't give up. You tell yourself, I can do it. If they can, I can.
That's a great thought. Great motivation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so someone asked, did you decide on a career in tech because of passion or salary, or I guess what was your motivation for switching from accounting to cybersecurity?
When I saw that everything was changing into cyber, accounting has always been there. It's always going to be there, right? And two, looking at the figures, when Dr. IT started calling out the figures, I said, shoot, I'm in the wrong field. I need to do something. And Francisca even made it worse. I said, gosh, but I sat back, but I was so much afraid in, really, really moving, but they kept pushing. So I would say, one, the world is changing, everything is going on cloud, cyber, and, even anybody in any town with internet can get anywhere. So I need to get in. And two was financial stability. That's how I had to get in.
Yes, and even more so, it's still growing so much, and they have so many positions available all over the world. Yeah, it's
Yes,
a
yes.
big field. Yeah,
big field. You can work from anywhere if you have internet.
yes, yeah. I actually know some people who do remote work and they travel in between.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm into now, remote.
And so I guess what advice would you have those who are looking to switch careers to cybersecurity? Um, since you switch from accounting to cyber, I guess what advice would you give those who are also thinking about doing a big career switch like that?
I would say it's a big change. It will be a big change for them. But one, they have to take fear out. They have to surround themselves with positive thinkers. Somebody who, because where they want to move to is a different area. It's not their degree level or whatsoever. But it's not a matter of it. It's being confident in yourself that you can do it. Again, like I said earlier, have a subject matter experts around you. Like I had Samuel and I had one professor who also kept pushing. So they should tell themselves they can do it. If I can, they can. They shouldn't be afraid to fail. If you fail and you don't do it again, then you fail totally. Or if you refuse to do it, then why complain, you know? So I will give them all the kudos if they really want to go for it. Just take fear out. If fear sets in, you can do it. You should believe in themselves that they can do it. Again, no, if you know how to read and write, you have the sky. The sky is your limit. You can do anything.
No, that's great advice. That's really good. We had one more question. I'm unsure if this is about your job. They asked, was it easy getting clearance? I don't know if your position requires a security clearance for it at all.
Yeah, it did, but they've not started processing yet. They told me they were going to get me on board, and later on they do it. So we are waiting. Actually, myself and two other people, we are waiting to get us cleared. I don't know when it's going to start. So it's eventually going to come on. Luckily for me, they did not do it before I got in. I was on board before they would start doing it.
Okay. And so then to the person that asked to ask that question, we don't know yet. So maybe we'll find out in a few more months.
Yeah.
Okay. And so let me see. Oh, and then for actually, for those who have recently joined, this is Benedicta. Just to give a brief recap, she switched from accounting back in the early 2000s, about 2003. She switched into cybersecurity, and we're
it was IT,
and so we're just discussing. Oh, IT auditing. Oh, I'm sorry. And so we're just talking about the switches. We're talking about certifications that you may need in going into the IT field in general. We do recommend CompTIA A+ as a basics, just to get the basic understanding. And for Benedicta, she has done CompTIA Security Plus, which is very important for her position, her field. And we do have one more question. What platform do you visit for more cybersecurity information? So I guess when you want to learn more, either at work or at home, when you have a few questions, I guess what platform do you go for more information?
I subscribe to Cyberscoop. So actually, this week is Cyber Week, and they have so many people on. So anybody who is interested can go to cyberscoop.com, and we'll be watching the live programs. I think tomorrow is the 5th day. I subscribe to Cyberscoop, and I subscribe to CNN, so I do go in and get pop-ups, messages, alerts actually about what's going on. So that's how I get my feed.
Awesome. I will have to keep that in mind for my own information. And then another person asked, is Scrum Master different from cybersecurity?
What is that one? What repeat the question. Scrum Master?
A Scrum, yeah, is, yes, different from cybersecurity.
I'm not 100% sure because I did not take that. I took the cybersecurity security plus, and I'm not sure about that one.
Okay, and then another person asked, do you have to be a citizen to get a good job in cybersecurity?
I don't think so. I think every company is different. Every company is different. The companies that I've worked for, I always get hired directly by them, right? And I think we have the consulting companies that if you have if you have work permits or green card, but if you have the work permit and the green card, you are limited to some access. You don't have a lot of access to some information because so I don't think so. Every company is different. So I don't think if you are a citizen, I think it helps you with the federal sector. The federal sector. So the other companies, I think you should be able to get in if you are not a citizen. I think you should be, again, like I said, every company is different.
Yes. And we just got an answer for the Scrum question. The Scrum is a project management path. It is different from cybersecurity. So thank you, Samuel, for providing that information.
Thank you,
Even
Dr.
I was stumped.
Yeah, because I don't have my project management there, so I'm happy he answered for us. Thank you so much.
Awesome. And we had another question. Is it feasible to keep 2 jobs in the cybersecurity world?
It all depends. If you can do it, you do one day, one night. So if you have the what was the word? Is it nocturnal skills to work overnight? You you're just going for it. I would love to try that and get double pay. It doesn't hurt to get double pay. So if you can do it, why not? Go for it.
Yeah. And they followed up with, how many hours do you work per shift? Are you usually on call?
My section, it's not shifts. My section, if it's I go through 8 and around 4:30, I'm done. I'm done. Okay. So yeah, even though I work closely with the SOC team, we don't run shifts. Yeah, it's the SOC team that I know they do the shift thing, but I don't.
Okay, so you have the regular 40 hours a week.
Exactly. Yes.
Set like time. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And so then, in terms of those searching for a cybersecurity job, do you have any advice for those who are just currently on the hunt, who have maybe certifications and are just looking for that entry position to get in?
I will tell them this, that they shouldn't give up. If someone would tell you, I had a couple of interviews, and I sat through one interview. They asked me about APT, and I think the kind of answer I gave was so stupid. I got out of the interview and I said, oh my God, what did I say? So I told Samuel about it after the interview, and I said, Samuel encouraged me and said, that's not the end of it. If you did not get through it, there's another opportunity. So I would tell whoever is going through an interview or looking for the job to not to be hard on him or herself. Just keep on pressing. You get in. Maybe your time is not there yet. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Just again, if you have any questions, they should reach out to you or maybe Samuel, and they will guide them. And again, take yourself away from negative speakers, negative talking people. Have positive people around you, people who encourage you. They will tell you as it is, but it's a positive way of, sending the message to you. And just, if you believe in God, pray to God. If you believe in Allah, pray to Allah. It will fall on your lap before you know it. Some people get lucky and they just take one interview and they land a job. Some people will have to go through about 3, 4 people, everybody is different, but we all have stories to tell. Tell them not to be worried. When I will tell you this, I remember when I first took, when I finished the course, I took security exams. I failed. Ask Samuel, he will tell you. I failed. I failed the first attempt, and I was so down, disappointed. And I said, what in the world am I doing? Why am I miserable? Even though I've thrown some money away, I said, you know what? I can do it again. I can do it. The worst I could say is no. If I said no, it's a failure right there. I've, brought myself way low. I said, no, I will do this. And the second attempt, I nailed it. And I said, oh, I'm gone. And with that, it held my resume and I was able to transition smoothly. So they should not give up. They can do it. If I can, they can.
That's great advice. So, talking about, kind of, one interview, you may get the job or it may take you a few more tries. How long did it take you to get a job? I know you did switch from like accounting, the auditing to the IT auditing.
Yes.
If I got that correct.
Yes, actually.
So, I mean,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you were actually answering my question.
No, I was going to say for the contracts to accounting and IT auditing, it was within the same company. It was within one company, one big organization. And so the transition, I was able to kind of maneuver myself to get myself up from contracts to the accounting to the IT auditing. It was, and when I was in IT auditing, my company, they were supposed to move us to our company head office in Missouri area. And I did not want to move out of the DC metro area. I like this place. I did not want to move out. So I had to find my way out. And luckily, the second job that I got with another company, they had the IT compliance position. But I did not have my security certification then. I did not have the Security Plus certification. So I had to read through the job description and prep myself for the interview. And when I went there, I got into the IT compliance. So the compliance field, that made me comfortable. And I got the better understanding of the governance risk management part. So I ended up taking the classes with SLAM. And when I added the Security Plus, it moved me up and I landed this current job that I'm in.
Oh, wow. So that really worked out. That's awesome.
Yeah, you had to push. If you sit at one spot, you're not going to go anywhere. you're gonna be doing the same thing over and over. So I said, it's time to go.
Yeah, and so from the time that you said your job was moving to Missouri and you wanted to stay. I guess how long did it take from, I guess, that point finding out about potentially moving to your new job that you found, the new position? How long did that take? A few
Yeah,
months too?
when I was laid off at that time, no, it took me more than that. I was home for close to a year. I was home
wow.
close to a year, but then I had been with that company for 12 years. So they gave me a package. They paid me for almost
Okay.
1 year. They paid me for almost 1 year before I got into the IT compliance position. And I worked with them for almost 8 years before I moved out to the federal section doing compliance, governance, risk management stuff.
Okay. And, speaking about compliance, someone did ask, if you want to go into compliance, do you have to master all the policies like NIST, FISMA, and others before you get a job?
It's good if you know. It's very good. You can master everything, but I would say go for the easy ones that you can go through an interview, like AC, access control. Those are the easy ones. If you go in depth, you're going to be screwed if you don't know too much about it. So go for the easy ones. I know every interviewer is different. They can ask you the basic stuff when it comes to the RMF stuff, or they can ask you questions on they have, what's the word, significant change. What are changes do you put in the SSPs, and on the they can ask you stuff on IRP stuff, incident response stuff, and so every interviewer is different. So I will say always go for the easy ones that you be able to pass the message on across to the interviewers for you to get in. Don't go too hard on yourself, but at least have an idea of each of the policies. Be able to talk about it, but don't go in depth. If you are access control, you give access, you check their credentials every now and then. So don't go too deep. If you go too deep, you'll be in trouble.
Okay. Oh, awesome. And another person asked, what is your typical day relationship with the SOC team?
You don't want to mess with the SOC team because you need their information. You need information from them to get your work done. So always try to be. If you ask someone, I'm a very polite person, and I give people their space. So I try to come around and ask politely. Try and have good relationships with them to be able to get whatever feedback or information you need to get your reports done to your customers. So that's what I'll give them.
Do you talk to them daily for reports for your job?
Not
or on occasion?
For me, I ask weekly updates. I need updates because my reports are monthly. So they're supposed to provide updates. If I don't get updates, I go to them. I'll have maybe one POC that I go to. If I don't have a particular person, I try to create relationship with either their top manager or whoever, the subordinates, anybody, and make sure I have all the information that I need. Because again, it's one team. We are all supporting the company. So I'm not there to have any issues with anyone. I'm there to get the job done and go home. That's
fair enough. Actually, speaking of SOC, SLAM is is having a SOC class, along with, if you're interested in learning more about SOC, so the Security Operations Center, SLAM does have on the weekends about an hour long, just to learn a little bit more about SOC, and then also any career development like resume review and interview question practice on Saturdays. So check out our website at SLAM, SLAMM, LLC.com if you want to learn more. And we do have more classes on cybersecurity, AWS, and Linux coming up in November as well. So check those out. And also, Benedicta, do you have maybe anything else that you wish for people to know, those looking for cybersecurity positions or those already in cybersecurity? Is there anything else you would like them to know about the field or your position itself?
Again, I said the field is a big field. So if they are not already in and they are looking, like, they shouldn't give up. They can do it. They should, again, go to the SME people, like Dr. IT, someone is there, and whoever that they were within in their class who had landed a job, they can be talking to people and be asking questions and getting help and guide here and there. So again, if I do it, if I can do it, they can. You know, I'm not a smart person. I have to read, get feedbacks, go on YouTube. There's so much in there that they can watch and you listen, and it's something, at least something will stick, you know. And the materials that SLAM gave them, they should read more on the materials, because if you read and you don't understand anything and you don't ask questions, you'll not go anywhere. So my advice to them is, don't give up. You get it. You get the job. You get a job and things will be easier for them. They shouldn't be hard on themselves. Everything will work out just fine.
Yeah, I think you're proof of that. I mean, you seem like a very dedicated person, and anyone can do cybersecurity. It just takes a lot of hard work and dedication. So
exactly.
like you said, you might fail a few times, but you got to just keep getting back up and getting out there. I mean, if you get everything right the first time, you never really learn, right? You gotta fail a few times.
You have to fail. You know, I think one time we were doing the class, and someone, if I remember very well, he made an example. You know, it's like a child learning how to walk. They fall, they get up, and they try. So we all have our failures here and there, but if you fail, that doesn't mean you're a failure. You know, if you fail, you just tell yourself, hey, I failed, so it's not the end of the world. I can do it. Let me try again. And I'm so happy I had the opportunity to sit under Samuel for him to teach me what I learned through the networking and the security plugs, taking us through the whole book. He's a great teacher. And it's very important. If you don't have a great teacher, you will not enjoy what you're doing. It's all very important that you always have a great teacher. He's very smart, very great person. And I wish all his students will land the jobs that they are looking for, and everybody will be happy, and you will be happy too, because it will be selling SLAM out there. So that's it for me.
Awesome. Okay, so any last questions to our viewers before we say goodbye to Benedicta? And Benedicta, I just want to also say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to talk to us as well.
Thank you for having me.
Greatly appreciate it.
I am
we love having you.
I'm so honored for you to have me here today to encourage other students and I'll say my colleagues. So I'm very, very happy that I had the opportunity to share my story.
Awesome.
Any more questions?
No, it looks like there's no more questions. Once again, I do greatly appreciate your time, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your night.
We do have questions though.
Oh,
Hi, Bear.
oh, there we go.
Two
Okay,
questions.
one last question.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, go ahead.
He said he had 2 questions for me. Maybe he's typing it out.
Oh, I already typed
Okay.
it. The first one was asking what would be some of the best companies to work for the cyber world, whether private or the federal government. Which one would you suggest to?
Well, I wouldn't say there's a specific great company because I work for a private sector, but we support the federal government. So it doesn't matter. It's the most important thing is for you to land a job. And because whatever they do in the federal sector, if you have a private sector that is working for the federal, supporting the federal government, you do the same thing anyway. So don't limit yourself to only the federal sector.
And then my second question, which is the last one, was asking the range of probably salary as beginners, maybe information security analyst. Is there a particular range that you should look at as a beginner, or just?
I thought Dr. IT had discussed that section with you. I'm not sure, but every company
You probably have. I've not been in class for some time.
Okay. Every position may be different. I would say it's different because maybe the position you just mentioned may be offering 95, but it's all about how well you bargain. If you bargain well, they can probably add maybe 5 or 10K more. So it's more about how you sell yourself too.
Okay.
So
appreciate it.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. And I believe that's it. Like I said, thank you so much.
I have a question.
Great. One more person.
Yeah.
Okay, last question.
So just like you were explaining, I'm also from a different background. I'm into banking, and so what is the guarantee that if I have the certification, I might land a job?
Okay. I don't think it matters. If you see the job description, just tailor yourself towards the job. If you think you can do it or you can talk through the interview, just go for it. Because for me, again, my field was finance and accounting, and I was fortunate enough to had been in a company that I went through contracts accounting and IT auditing. And then when my company got, I was laid off, I had to apply into another company. So I saw the job, tailored it to my, on my resume to fit whatever it says it is. Then I listened to advice here and there from my professor and watch few videos, and I talked through it. So it's all also about building confidence, Just tell yourself you can do it. And sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I'll be talking to myself through the interview. So you need to just practice it, or you can have somebody quiz you through it. Like you can have one of the staff, SLAM staffers, if they have an idea of what the job and the description is, they can kind of come up with some set of questions that can help you build your confidence towards delivering a good interview.
Okay, thank you so much. And one last question. So
yes, I have a question. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Apart from the Security Plus certification that you have,
do
you have to have any other certification to excel in the cybersecurity field?
Mine, they required it. So my company, some companies do, some companies don't. My company had to pay for me to write ISACA certification. And that is a CISA. When I was with my very first company, I attempted it and failed.
Okay.
And my second attempt, I passed. So I think there are so many certifications in there. I know SLAM is offering it, CISSP, and all those certificate courses. So I know they require for me CISSP, but it's on the list of things that I'm thinking of coming to SLAM to take the class. Then I'll go write the exams for. So far, I just have the two.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I had a lady saying she had a question too, right?
Yes, I had a question. Hi.
Hi.
I just have a question regarding job descriptions. Like going through a lot of job descriptions, there really isn't anything like an entry level where like they need just zero experience. Like they always
Okay.
want some type of experience somewhere, like whether it's 1 year or something. They need to see that you've done the job somehow. So my question is, like, what are some of the resources that like you had, like when it came to what you're going to put on your resume, and like who they're going to call to check on to see if it's really like, what you put on your resume is legit, things like that. Like, what are some of the resources that you turned to when you were in going through your job search?
Well, with that, actually, for me in particular, the work that I had done, they had some of the description on the job description. Some of the work that I had touched on, there were a few that were not actually on the job description, but I had to go on YouTube and also be asking questions on my friends who are the engineers, and to guide me on how to approach those when I'm asked a question about that. I basically talked myself through the stuff that I had done. And if they ask you that if you have any idea, you have to say, yeah, I have an idea, but just kind of, you cannot just leave it as it is. You have to say something. Say something, because there are so many information out there online that you can read, And I know most of the jobs, they will not have it as zero experience. At least you have to have something down that, hey, even though I've not done it, I know it's this, it's that, blah, blah, blah. And at least they will know that you are somebody who motivates yourself and you are willing to learn. And that will actually even help you get your foot in. Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So that is all the time we have. Thank you once again, Benedicta. And for those watching, and we hope to have you again sometime soon. For those watching, feel free to visit us at SLAMMLLC.com for any more information. Also, feel free to call us or email us as well. We have both of those informations on our website. And we do hope you have a lovely rest of your night, Benedicta.
You
Thank
too.
you again.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.